I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got peace, love, and joy like a river, I've got peace, love, and joy like a river, I've got peace, love, and joy like a river in my soul. I've got peace, love, and joy like a river, I've got peace, love, and joy like a river, I've got peace, love, and joy like a river in my soul.
Morning. Welcome to virtual Sunday school on this very happy Mother's Day. I hope you guys are having a great day so far. I hope you have something maybe fun or special planned with Mom this afternoon. And I want to give all the moms out there a very happy Mother's Day wish. And I wish I could see you all today and give you big hugs, but virtual hug from me today. Happy Mother's Day. It's a very different one this year, huh? All right, so let's jump into Sunday school. Today at Sunday school, we're going to talk about all the unique things that God has given each one of us. All right, and each one of us has different things, right? Some are very obvious, like we're all very different in how we look, but we also learn different, and we also move different, and we also like things that are different, and we dislike different things, and it goes on and on and on, all of our differences. And what we're going to really talk about is sometimes it doesn't feel fair, right? Some of the things that other people have, we wish we had. Or some of the things that we have, we wish we didn't have, okay? I always wish my hair was curly. Some people wish they were taller. Other people wish they were really good at sports like their friends. Or some people wish that they could sing. There's all sorts of different things and how sometimes we feel like things aren't fair. So we're going to discuss that fairness aspect today. One of the main things I want you guys to get out of today's Sunday school lesson is that fairness isn't always about getting the same thing as everybody else. Okay, it's not about everybody having the same thing. It's about everybody getting or having what they need to have a happy life. So it's not about wants, it's about needs. All right? Today's story is about some women who experienced laws that kept them from getting what they needed, and it was definitely very unfair. So we're going to learn about that story and how they handled it and how God handled it and what that means for us going forward and having God in our life to lead us through some of these challenging things like fairness that we have to kind of battle every day. All right? So I am going to pass it off to Ginger. We're going to hear about the story, and I'll see you back here in a minute.
Well, thanks so much for the introduction, Leah, and thank you, Scott, for the amazing song. So Leah's right. This story is about fairness. And I love what she said about fairness because fairness is not necessarily everybody always having the same things, right? Fairness is about people having what they need. And that may look different from other people. So in a little bit, Leah's going to have an activity that kind of illustrates what that looks like. first, I'm going to read you today's story, okay? It comes from the book of Numbers. It's chapter 27, verses 1 through 11, and this is how it goes, okay? Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah were the daughters of Zelophehad, a man who died in the wilderness. The 5 women came forward at the community tent, so that would be kind of like us going to City Hall, and stood before Moses, Eleazar the priest, the leaders of the community, and everyone who had gathered, and said, "It's true. Our father died in the wilderness, and we know that there was a group who rebelled against God out there, but he wasn't a part of that rebellion. He wasn't perfect, but he didn't turn against God. He had no sons, and now that he's dead, our home will be taken from us because inheritance only goes to sons." Now, does that sound fair to you? That they wouldn't have a place to live any longer just because they weren't a son and he had no sons? So this is what they say. Well, why should the laws take our home and erase our father's memory? Give us property among our father's relatives. Well, Moses asked God what to do, and God said to Moses, "What these daughters are saying is right. Do what they're asking of you. Not only that, tell all the people, if a man dies and has no sons, give the inheritance to his daughter. If no daughter, to his brothers. If no brothers, to his father's brother, or to the nearest relative. Say, this is the new law for us. It's what God asks of us." What I love in this story is that God not only makes it right by telling Moses what the wise thing to do is, but he changes the law. He says, in this moment, the law is unjust, and we need to fix that. So God really wants equity for us. God wants justice for us and among us. And he wants us to take care of each other and take care of each other with equity. And I love that. Well, Leah has a great activity to show you what the difference between equality, everybody getting the same thing, and equity, everybody getting what they need, looks like. So here she is. We'll see you in a minute, okay?
Hi again. I'm here with Ellie, and she is going to help me with our activity today. So in the Bible story that you just heard, those daughters were seeking equity, or in other words, they were seeking things that they needed in order to have an abundant life, just like the men did. So what we're going to do now is we're going to show the difference between equality, everybody getting the same thing, and equity, everybody having what they actually need. Okay? So we are here in our shoe area of our house, and we have shoes of all shapes and all sizes. Okay? So what we're going to do to show equality is we're both going to have a pair of shoes. Okay? Because that means equality means everybody has the same thing. So we're going to both have a pair of shoes. Okay? And we're going to try them on and make sure that they cover our feet, because that's what they're for, right? All right, so Ellie, I'm going to give you a pair of shoes to try on. I'm going to put on my pair of shoes, and we will be equal, okay? All right, so can you put on these shoes for me? Right there. And I'm going to put on these shoes right here. I'm having a little trouble.
These are hard to
Having a little okay, so mine are a little bit small. Do yours fit?
No.
Well, let's try and walk. Oh. Okay, so here's what I think. Even though we both had shoes, which makes us equal, they weren't quite right for us, right? Those weren't the right shoes for you, were they?
No.
No. So the difference and the problem here is that we did have the same thing. We both had shoes, but they weren't right. They weren't right for us, okay? Now, can you try on these shoes? See if those fit you better. And I'm going to see if I could maybe try on And these shoes. See if these fit me. How do they feel?
They feel perfect.
They feel pretty good? Yep, these feel pretty good for me too. Try and walk down there, see how they feel. Go ahead. They look pretty good. Okay. So, here's the thing. Even though we both had shoes, we needed different shoes that were right for us, okay? And everyone's gonna need certain things that are unique to them, okay? And that's kind of what the differences are in equality and equity, okay? And this is what God desires for us. He wants, in our uniqueness and our differences, that we be treated with respect and we would receive what we need, okay? So, and also that we learn in this story, when something's not right, like if I gave Ellie a pair of shoes like these big ones and said, there you go, you asked for shoes, there you go, that wouldn't be treating her fairly, because they're not what she needs, and she wouldn't be able to run and play in those shoes, okay? So Ellie, I would really hope that she would speak up like those brave women did in the story and tell me, hey look, this isn't right, this isn't what I need to be happy and to be able to do what I need to do, all right? So let's think about that story as we go about our life, and if we have to speak up for the things that we need, then we should do it. And we should know that God's going to have our back, and He will be with us the whole time. All right? Thank you for helping me. I appreciate it. And I hope you guys are having a great Sunday, and I miss you, and I'll see you next week.
Well, thanks for that amazing activity, Leah. I really love how Leah showed us that equality and equity aren't the same thing. It's not about everybody getting the same thing. It's about everybody getting what they need. There's some great questions here that I want you to think about this week as you think about this story. Imagine that you're one of these daughters and you were told, just because you were a woman, that you couldn't have what you needed in life, that you couldn't have your land, you couldn't have a place to live. How would you feel? What would you say? It's a big thing to think about. And then I also think about how God felt. What do you think God felt when these daughters were courageous enough to go before the men, knowing that the law says one thing, and say, we just don't think that's right? I think it's amazing that when Moses came to God, God already had an answer and said, they're right. And we should change. That's a big thing, to change when you know something is unjust. And I really love that that's how the story ended up. Well, it's great to see you again. And we're almost done with Sunday school for this program year. And I'm going to be really happy to see you all again. And I'm going to be happy to see your mamas again. I wish I was there this week to wish them a happy Mother's Day. So before we go today, why don't you join me in a prayer, okay? Dear God, thank you so much for the story of Zelophehad's daughters and teaching us how to speak up for something when it's harmful to us or others. Give us the courage to use our voices when we see ways the world could be a better place for all of us to live in. Amen. Well, I really love you guys. We'll see you again next week. Pizza crust.